Alright guys, next up is Alpherg in the special Japanese Dark Visions 19. We're going to try this, and then if it works, I'll explain the team as we get into it. We're going to be going for a turn 7 clear. Alright, so right away on turn 1, we're going to shift Sephiroth, start stacking his LB. We're going to use Zidane to fire resist. We're going to use Sweet Luca to 100% wind resist. That is important. Let's see. And then Adele is going to Nethicite. And then we'll just guard these two. We don't need them quite yet. Alright, so the boss does fire and wind damage. And then a gravity attack that you can Nethicite. So let's go ahead and put Sephiroth back to the base form. And we're going to start casting Stone every turn while we just wait. Zidane's going to sing his STMR song. We can just, let's see, guard these and repeat you. We're wearing enough resist gear without buffs in the base form. Sephiroth was not in the shift form, which was important for him to be shifted. Okay, let's see here. Next is going to be, what are we doing? At this point, we're basically just waiting until turn 5. We're going to get imperiled on this turn, though. And there's the Imperil. Alright. So we're going to Stone. Let's Thousand Needles. Let's Bushido Freedom that Imperil away. And then we will Nethicite again. So we're going to start our setup on the next turn. Alright, VV is going to imbue the party with ice, and then Sephiroth will imperil ice with the skill VV just gave us. Let's see. Sweet Luca will give the party an Aqua Killer buff. Adele will imbue the party with Earth, Stone Killer buff, and then hit the boss with Stone. And then we're going to Nethicite with Hawkeye instead this turn. Wait for all this to finish. Okay. Alright, next up, we're going to Magnus with Sephiroth to get him ready. We're going to re-imbue again with VV. Let's see. Hawkeye is gone. Oh my god, he's already shifted. Let's do Adele first. Adele is going to shift and do a Earth Imperil. And then just hit the boss with Earth a little bit. And then Hawkeye is going to imperil the boss, break the boss, and then whatever. Wait for this to finish. I don't want to deal a threshold or anything. And we just guard Luca for now. Alright, I don't think the boss does gravity on this turn, so we don't need Nethicite on turn 6. Okay. Now Zidane's song is finished. We're going to kill. So we're going to shift Sephiroth and use his LB. Now we're going to all use this skill that VV gave the party. Let's see. Everyone is single wielding as well. Okay, so we're going to send Sephiroth, and then we're going to chain everyone else. Perfect. 9.99 with Sephiroth on an Earth party slot. That should have been a perfect score. Should have been a perfect score. Very nice. Very, very nice. Alright, let's see here. Yeah. Pretty sure that got it. Okay. So let me explain the party in just a moment. Be right back in 1 sec. Alright guys, so the team we just did got a perfect score on Alpherg after a little bit of work and adjustment. So honestly, this was really all about Sephiroth. Now, as you can see here, the boss is weak to ice and earth physical. It's a aquatic and stone enemy. So I figured I'd just go all in on Sephiroth and see if he can carry the fight, and as we found out, he can. So, the boss does wind and fire magical damage and gravity damage that you can Nethicite. So, Zidane The whole team has 100 to fire and wins. We don't got a full buffing. Zidane is using his STMR song, Call of the Wild, and he's on Carbuncle to buff fire resist for turn 1 because Sephiroth's going to shift on turn 1. And that's it. We're going to get to Sephiroth in a minute. Sweet Luca was for 50% Aqua Killer buff, but also, more importantly, she's one of the very few units that also has a one... Oh, it doesn't show it here. Well, it doesn't show it. Well, she has a 100% wind resist buff, which is why she came. So 50% Aqua Killer, 100% wind resist, and we gave her 1,000 needles. Other than that, she didn't really do anything. That was her whole duty, is to give 100% wind resist for turn 1. Hawkeye is our passive provoker. I think he stayed in the shift form the whole fight. He did. Passive provoker, 100 fire and wind, full evasion, and Nethicite. He was also our 87% defense breaker and our 130% dark imperil. Madame Adele, Neovisions, is 100 to fire and wind, shift form, same thing. We gave her a second copy of Nethicite, and she did the Earth Imbue, the Earth Amplify, and the Earth Imperil with her shift form. And that was it. And notice that none of these are dual wielding. They're all single wielding. And then VV, again, 100 fire and wind resist. We gave him Bushido Freedom, not dual wielding. And he did the Ice Imbue and the Ice Amplify. And he also gave the party the Ice Imperil for the enemy. And he granted the party those AR frames for everyone. And he's using Bushido Freedom. Now, the reason we did this is because Sephiroth is innately dark, and the boss is very strong to dark. We imbued Sephiroth with also the weak elements of Ice from Vivi and Earth from Adele. So he was triple element finishing. So the Ice and the Earth damage averaged out the boss's dark resist and made Sephiroth deal a lot of damage because of that. So he had Ice Imbue, Earth Imbue, Ice Amplify, Earth Amplify, Imperil to both, etc. We got Aqua Killer buff from Sweet Luca and Stone Killer buff from Madame Adele. And then Sephiroth is on Kokuryu. Base form, not really super important. 100 resistances. Shift form, he's got 30 or better fire resist and 0 or better wind resist. Wind resist was the tricky one, honestly, without really sacrificing his DPS very much, because Kokuryu lowers your wind resist, and there's no good source of wind resist gear. So here's the gear we're using. His Chronicle Katana, his STMR, Awakened Rain's Metal, which gave him 30 wind resist and some attack power, as well as the 30 dark resist. Eileen's Hat for the Stone Killer, Riku's Glove for the damage and LB damage. Here's the stats, by the way. Max attack, max true double hand. He's got 125 Aqua Killer and 275 Stone Killer. Cloud's STMR, Lightning's STMR, and then we gave him a Stone Killer and 2 Stone Killer Materias, and then Zone Card. So that was the tricky thing, was getting him 100% wind resist on turn 2, because on turn 2, on turn 1. On turn 1, he stacked his LB, so we needed him to be immune. And then he went back to the base form and chilled until Zidane's song was ready. And Zidane did a 300% LB buff for Sephiroth. And then he did his own dark amplify and all that. And it was enough. It was enough to cap the boss. Now Zidane, we could have on turn 6 done his LB as well and capped, but as we saw, we didn't need it. Sephiroth handled it. Okay, now it is time for final boss of Kei Hirono. I will be working on him later. See you guys in a bit.